Let's go.
Wait. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Video Chicken. We are back, and look who's really back from vacation. So
and you're back.
What do you mean I'm back? I've been here. I haven't
New
left.
York City.
No, that was for work, so that's not technically leaving. Let's get started. How's it going, guys? Matt here with Carolina Coops. Welcome to Video Chicken. To my left is my host, Kristen Warren.
I think this one really could be a male.
Oh, we got one that's hatching? This show is for you guys. This is the bass fiber. Y'all know chickens are the gateway drug into homesteading.
We survived with only one trip to the ER.
Coyotes are everywhere.
It's about time you show up, Matt. It's a great straw.
It is time, finally, for chicken police. They defecate every 12 seconds. Is that true? Now it is officially noon because the buzzer went off.
Well, I've never counted.
That's long
More
road.
coops.
That's a good one with the courts and everything.
And more chickens.
Well, the math you do now, Daddy, is chicken math.
Calm down, Matt.
But-
Calm down. Hello, everybody.
Audio unmuted. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Video Chicken. Yes, we are back. Yes, we are live. Let us know if everything looks good, sounds good. As usual, we're always a little paranoid. You never know who's been in here messing around with buttons, so just let us know everything sounds good, looks good. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, Kristen.
Thank you. Welcome back, Matt.
Yeah. So
Today is...
Oh, yeah, right. June 9th.
Yes.
It's June 9th already.
June 9th.
That is insane.
It is insane.
I didn't even know we were into June. Unbelievable. Anyways, so it looks good on Facebook. Awesome. And make sure that we sound good. Thank you, E Stormy. So yeah, no, we had a little hiatus. How many weeks?
3 weeks.
10? Oh, it was only 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, because someone had to go on vacation.
And you went to New York City.
I was working. That's different.
I did some work on vacation.
Actually, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. So anyways, we are officially back, and there is a lot of things we got to talk about. There's a lot of things we got to get caught up on. There is a lot of things I got to get off my chest, okay? So this is going to be one of those shows. I'm not sure how long it's going to go for. However, the best part about today's show is we have our dear friend Lisa Steele, who is here today from Fresh Eggs Daily. She's in the green room right now, so we'll be bringing her on probably 12:10, 12:15. Just depends on how long my rant goes right now.
Oh, are we starting out with a rant?
Dude, well, listen.
You got to do that in the second hour or something.
No. It's not a rant. I got to get something off my chest right now, right away, and we got to get a video of this later. And actually, if anyone's listening out in, so Nan's not here, so we're not going to have her chiming in like we usually do. So I'm going to need someone to bring in the hemp box, the empty box from my office. We have got to get something out there. I need to get it off my chest, and you guys are going to understand why.
Oh.
Wow. Okay,
Whoa.
I didn't know if I was going to say something. I'm doing something for the first time in today's show.
You guys see that comment? That can just make somebody's day.
Well, here's the thing.
Hey, Matt, your hair looks beautiful today.
So, well, you want to know why?
Did you get a haircut?
No, no. I'm due for a haircut.
You didn't brush it?
No, I combed it. I never wash my hair on Friday, but I had to today. The reason is, thank God, we are no longer living at the shop, so I think I can officially say it. Yes, we've been living here for 2 years, getting the plant up and running. The water out there, it needs some work.
So, yeah, big news. Big news. Matt has a home in North Carolina.
Yes, we get to get started with the farm. Turn my headphones up just a touch. So, thank you so much. I was wondering if anyone was going to notice. I was like, I should bring it up just for something funny, but I'm glad it was noticed. That is awesome. It's way too fluffy. When you wash it and condition it, it's just way too fluffy. It's all over the place. I'm chopping it off. I am actually probably about 3 months away, just to forewarn everyone. I'm going back to shaving my head. I am done with hair. It is gone. You can see right through it. It is disgusting. But thank you for that compliment. So
we'll have the fans weigh in on that.
Yeah, so my level low? We got to get this dialed in. Turn me up just a little. Right there. Perfect. All right, now, can I please have someone bring in a hemp box? This is why. And I'm mad at myself. At the end of the day, everything is my fault. And God knows we have learned a lot. Here's the thing, and we're going to do an official video. Thank you, James. We're going to do an official video on this. We sell a lot of industrial hemp. Thank you for everyone that purchases the hemp, because we love the hemp and I want to get more and more people aware of the hemp and, of course, grow that part of our business. Here's the thing about hemp. It is an organic material. We work so hard with the manufacturer to achieve the perfection that is my fault. I created this monster. Well, you did it with me. We were out on the floor showing how beautiful our hemp is, and it is beautiful. Figuring out the perfect size of herd and da-da-da. Here, bring that in. Thank you, James.
Well, yeah, it's a process. We try some new things.
Thank you.
They don't work out. We try some other things.
And and I'll be honest with you, 99.9% of the people, they get that, and they're so thankful of that.
And it works.
Yeah, here's the deal. All right. The manufacturer called me up about a month ago. He said, Matt, I got to forewarn you about something. I said, what's that? He goes, your bales are going to weigh less. I asked him why. And he had a very good answer. And when I got the answer, I was like, well, that's even better for everyone. Did you hear this answer?
That it was moisture.
Less moisture.
Yes.
They got the herd so dry that we don't have to pay now for moisture. So I was like, sweet. That's a home run.
Dehydrated hemp.
But as we've been going through this process, learning about hemp and selling it, marketing, here's where I made a huge mistake. And you're going to see this changing completely, especially on our end. But I have also noticed if you go buy, pine shavings, if you go buy mulch in a bag, they don't refer to the weight anymore because you can't. It's an organic material. It's going to change. And hemp, especially, is going to absorb moisture.
Well, that's what it's made for.
Exactly. Thank you. So it could weigh. Oh, we got it. Thank you, Amber, though. So here's what I'm getting at. We had a customer call us out on it, and they're right. She even picked up the bales. It could tell, because she's a repeat customer, she could tell they were about, I think it was going to be, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Is that 5? 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 5 pounds lighter. That's a lot. But she could tell. And they are, on average, 5 pounds lighter. And we have on our box, and we sell it at 33 pounds. Because it used to be consistently 33 pounds. But we've gone to a new manufacturer that is producing, I feel, even a better product. But more importantly, working with us, dialing in our recipe.
Yeah. They're also on the same continent, which helps.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because by the time we get it from, we're getting it from France, it is going to start taking in even more moisture. So here's the point. It is wrong, and we're going to change this. It is wrong to sell a material like industrial hemp, healthy straw, which has been phenomenal, which you definitely got to talk about that today. Pine shavings, mulch, to sell it by the pound, because it's gonna fluctuate big time. The right thing to do is to sell it by the volume, because at the end of the day, that is what's important. And the volume is still at the 5 cubic feet, okay? Give or take your fluffiness, give or take your measuring, okay? And that's another tough one to get perfect, all right? And you could have 5 different people measure the volume in the same measuring system and come up with 5 different numbers. But here's the thing. The customer said, Matt, it's 28 pounds. She was mad, rightfully so. Okay. I should have immediately taken off the 33 pounds per bale, because we checked it and we knew that it wasn't correct. But we knew that the volume was there. And if anything, I should have said right then and there, it's even better, because the reason why it's lighter is it has less moisture. So it's going to do even better of a job. That's the message I got to say right now. That's what I got to get across. So if anybody else has noticed this, I apologize. I promise you.
So who's going to go out there in the shop and mark that off with a Sharpie?
They're doing it.
They're doing it now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we have like 2,000 boxes left, and the boxes were not cheap, and getting the design and everything. So we'll work with our designer to fix that.
Oh no!
The next
So
printing.
that was done immediately when I found out, as we're dialing in the consistency of the hemp, which is looking good. The size is good. Next to zero dust. I mean, it's been awesome, but it's been a process, and it's been a process for them as well. You know what I mean? And I can understand that. And I told our manufacturing company, I said, immediately get that 33 pounds off. Keep the conversion, because that's still accurate. But I never came to the public like I should have. I should have had them cross that out. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, next round of boxes that come in.
You can say approximately.
So it does say approximately. in the conversion.
The conversion.
But no, we are not saying approximately anymore in poundage. Are you kidding me to make
Well, when
everyone
people
happy?
compare, I think it is helpful because there are 44-pound bales out there. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we need some way to compare.
You compare by the volume. You compare by what is going to give you what you're looking for, and that is the volume. Right?
I think 33 should be on there somewhere.
You are out of your mind.
In the description,
No way.
approximately. Use the word approximately.
It doesn't work. It barely works with conversions. You are more than welcome.
If I was a consumer, I would want to see
Yeah,
the
but
weight.
we were saying that just when you buy mulch, when you buy all that stuff, it always says like 3 cubic feet.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I
as
mean? It
long
never
as like our competitors that are selling hemp are doing the same, otherwise
They
They're
are
not.
pretty much. They are pretty much doing either liters or cubic feet. It's
Yeah.
only
volume, not pound.
yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as there's a consistent way to compare, I think that's
Plus,
important.
we know that our competitors that do say 33 pounds, we know from our experiment that it wasn't 33 pounds.
That's right.
So
Yep.
we have that on tape.
Oh yeah. And again, I'm never gonna bash up a competitor. I don't want to waste time talking about that,
No.
but it's good to compare. And we did that. Oh, they're outright lie. I should have been like, oh yeah, look at these. No, I'm not gonna do that. You know, you never point the finger until you point the finger at yourself first. And God knows every person here knows as you hear me say it all the time. It only makes you better. Anyway, so guys, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, thoughts, please fill me in because this is the real deal. And again, it's an organic product. It fluctuates. And it made me so mad at myself because I'm not saying this person thought we were lying, but in a way we were. But we didn't mean to by any means. If anything, I was happy. I was like, sweet, they got it even drier. And I focused on that.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Somebody asked where we're getting it, and it is Canada.
Yes. And then what I wasn't going to do is waste, at that time, I think we had about 5,000 boxes. I'm not going to waste 5,000 boxes. That would be irresponsible, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Enough with that.
Was that your rant, or do you have more?
Oh, I'm just getting started.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll pause on the other stuff.
All right, it is 12:12. We have Lisa Steele from Fresh Eggs Daily in the green room. I think Ingrid briefed me on what we're going to be talking about, but I can't wait to hear the surprise. June 9th, 2023, we are live. We are back. Let's go ahead and bring our dear friend Lisa in.
All right, give me one. Let's do this
and
interview. And we'll do this. And squish together. Why is it not adding her?
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
One day, we're going to have it like clockwork.
Oh yeah, I'll be retired.
No. Ingrid, if there's anyone that's never retiring, it is you.
You guys have to squish together.
How we doing, Lisa? How you doing today?
Scoot over some more.
Oh, hi. I'm not in the green room any
A little bit
longer.
more.
No.
Hi, Lisa. How are you doing?
Hi there.
Good.
Good.
So today we have
So I
Lisa
just-
from Fresh Eggs Daily with us. And Ingrid mentioned to me today, my mic can only go so far.
Okay,
It is hot as hell in here.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, non wanted to lock her office. Sorry, it has just been one of those days. You want to squish it even more? How are you in a world?
I just want to put you on the screen.
How are you in a long? I'm here.
Okay.
Now my mic can't get there. I'm due for a vacation. Anyways,
Keep telling you. Sorry.
Ingrid mentioned to me today that we are going to be talking about, it is summertime, right? Almost officially summer. And Lisa's going to be talking to us about how to keep your chickens cool.
And ducks. I want to talk about ducks.
Ooh.
And before we get started, I just want to, because I might not get a chance to butt in, but congratulations to Lisa on the awards that she won for her show for Welcome to My Farm. She's done her second season now, and she's picked up even more awards. So I saw that, and I wanted to congratulate you. So congratulations,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
Yeah,
Good job.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I'll be honest, I'm not surprised. Lisa, you are, the reason why we love you is you are who you are. You're real, you're honest. And that's what people need to hear. And I know sometimes that comes with taking some punches. But, you know, at the end of the day, and I'm sure you can agree, you can still go to bed and sleep well because you know you're being honest from here. And that, again, if you guys have never met Lisa Steele, haven't read any of her books, this is why we love her. So congratulations.
Oh, I'm backwards. Those are my books. Thank you. I've taken a lot of heat, pun intended, but if you're not going to put a message out there that you really believe in, it's not worth it. I just want to comment on two things. Hair looks great. And I love hemp. I was team straw like year round for years and years and years. I started using hemp in the summer and I love it. I mean, I just cannot say enough good about it. It is not dusty. It's really light. It lasts forever. So like when you compare the initial cost to shavings, it seems like it's more expensive, but then you realize you're not cleaning your coop every other day. And all of a sudden it's been like months and you're like, oh, I suppose I should put some new hemp in, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I really love it. So I still do use the straw in the winter just because we're in Maine and, you know, the straw is like so much more insulating and I put a nice thick layer and everything. But yeah, I'm like team hemp in the summer now. I absolutely love it. So great product.
Well, thank you for saying that. And so then I got to ask you, because you're sitting in the green room, hopefully you're hearing my rant. And I hope everyone understands how I had to get that off my chest. This is the first time I've been able to ever say anything. Have you ever had any experience like that? And do you understand what I'm saying? That, you know, the poundage can fluctuate. It's an organic material, and especially this stuff, it's meant to absorb moisture. There's humidity in the air. God knows I feel it in here right now. And it's just going to absorb it, and water's heavy, right?
Well, and that's why they don't sell straw by the pound. They sell it by the bale. You know, you buy a bale of straw. You don't buy. And okay, first of all, who's this woman who's throwing the hemp on a scale is what I want to know. First of all,
I know.
You know, if you have like a little container or something and you open it up and it isn't quite full, you're like, wait, did I really get a pound? But like, I can't imagine anyone weighing. Like, I couldn't even tell you how much a bale of straw weighs. Like, when we get straw, sometimes it seems heavier or seems lighter. And, you know, it is because of the moisture level, how dry the straw is. But yeah, you sell it by like volume or like how much, like you said, you know, it'll cover this much, you know, like if you're selling like mulch, I'm sure mulch and all that kind of stuff, potting soil and stuff is sold like that too, because, you know, there's moisture in it or not. But I mean, some people just want to complain about stuff, everything. And I wouldn't worry about it. Like, label it how you want to label it. And then in your description, you know, maybe you could put like approximately equivalent to, you know, 33 to 40 pounds or like make it like a wide range or something.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I think that kind of ties in what Kristen was saying a little bit. And I tell you, it's cutthroat out there, this world of selling hemp. I spend more time talking about hemp. And it's not even really our product, but it is such an important part of being successful.
Yeah,
like Lisa was just saying how great it is. And I want to make sure people see the value. Because at the end of the day, that's what we should be doing when we're shopping. And I'm not saying always get the cheapest stuff, but if I can provide a great product at a great price, we're going to be successful, just like with a chicken coop. And I feel we spend more time, I guess maybe it's a compliment to the coops, is we spend more time talking about the value with hemp than I think we do the chicken coops. And so I thank you so much.
Well,
and then,
the hemp, it's expensive. Well, first of all, it's all shipped. Like, not many feed stores are carrying it yet. So, you know, this is shipping like large, heavy packages, right? So that costs money. But, you know, when you do compare it dollar to shavings, it just seems like I've gotten a lot of pushback when I recommend it. And I'm like, you don't understand. It's going to last so much longer. Like, I think that one application lasts me almost the whole summer. And you would never get that with shavings. And for me, it's, you know, it's not only saving money, but it's saving time and effort. And it's also what's best for the chickens. And I've never had problems with respiratory issues, things like that, shavings are just so dusty. I don't know why anybody uses them in their coop.
exactly.
Like, dust is horrible for chickens.
Right. And the other thing I was going to mention, too, that I didn't bring up, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but it needs to be said, is that the other thing people don't see is we work so hard every day working with our vendor that does our shipping to keep passing along savings. And it's straight up a numbers game. And I just had a meeting with him the other day, and he's like, dude, I can't believe how well you guys are doing. We're going to get even more aggressive at giving you savings, which we just pass along to the customer. And soon, once I see consistency in this weight of the hemp, because it's going to fluctuate, hopefully, and I don't see why we can't, we're going to be able to pass along that savings for the includes shipping price, because we're not shipping water. You know what I mean?
Right.
But 5 pounds should make a big difference. It's not right now, but we again, I just want to mention that what goes on to make sure we give the best value to the customer.
Yeah,
Mike Trapp said that he's using the hemp that he got in 20. So 30 months on the same hemp that he got when he got his coop.
Yeah.
He has not changed it out.
Yeah.
I do it about every 2 years. Kristen goes about 4 or 5.
45.
4 to 5. 4 to 5.
Isn't that 30
Yeah, if your
months.
coop's not overloaded, it very well could last.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
And if you keep turning it,
Yeah.
keep it,
Yeah.
you got to keep the air in it and all that. And
Keep it.
I mean, I find a big thing is no food and water in the coop. Like if
Oh,
you
yeah.
bring that all outside, your coop is going to stay so much drier, so much cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be rodents and flies and bugs. And you don't want to encourage your chickens to be inside the coop anyway. They should be
Yeah.
outside. So
Right.
if they want to eat, they got to go outside.
Yeah, and please consider that your time is valuable. All of our time is valuable on this earth, and if there's there's less time working on your cleaning out your chicken coop, that is really valuable.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. You absolutely can't compare it
Yeah.
bag to shavings. And that's what people are trying to do. So I'm trying to explain it and you're trying to explain it. And hopefully, little by little we'll convert people over to the hemp.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen because it is very popular in Europe. And the one thing I've learned about business, whatever happens in Europe eventually comes over here. And it slowly is, and it's definitely going to help. Thank God there's finally companies popping up, growing industrial hemp for the bass fibers, for the CBD, and then also we can use the herd. It's just not here yet in the States like people may think or they hear. You need thousands and thousands of acres to grow it to meet the demand, which is good. But the nice part is it is so sustainable. In 90 days, It's ready to go.
So we have a question. Homestead Engineering asked, how long does the hemp last if it's unopened?
So, that's actually a very good question. And I don't have an exact answer yet based on experience.
I do. I kept some in my garage for years, and it was fine.
I mean, I would say if it doesn't get wet,
Sorry.
it's going to last forever. I mean, it's dry, like straw. If straw doesn't get wet, it's not going to mold.
Yeah.
It's not going to disintegrate. We're not worried about the nutritional value because they're not eating it. So I'd say forever. It's like honey. You can find it in King Tut's tomb and they'd be like, hemp, cool.
So exactly. So the thing I like to tell people is as long as you have good storage practices and store this in a cool, dry place, I have yet to see with my own eyes what the shelf life should be. Mm-hmm. What I can tell you is like what Kristen just said. How long was it in your garage?
3 years.
3 years. And so that's the only evidence I have. But like Lisa's saying, which I want everyone to do, use some common sense. And, the analogy with the honey or, it is a dry material. We are not worried about the nutrient value of it. And as long as it stays dry, you won't be growing mold. So keep it in a cool, dry place. And right now,
I stored some outside in what I thought was a plastic bin that was watertight, and it was not, and it's ruined.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so great question.
Or if like rodents get into it, you want to make sure if you have mice in your barn or whatever that they're not getting into it because they'll, build nests and poop in it and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
you can bring it into your living room and put a nice cover on it and use it as furniture.
Absolutely, use it as seating. Yeah.
Yeah, seating.
Yeah, something tells me you have done
I don't know that from experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for Lisa.
All right.
I have a couple too.
Oh.
So my question is, we know that chickens don't love the heat. They can't really. They have a hard time cooling themselves off. How do ducks react? I would think that because ducks are water animals, does the heat not as much of an issue for ducks, or is it?
It actually is. I mean,
Okay.
ducks without like a kiddie pool or a tub to stand in, ducks can also suffer heat exhaustion. They'll overheat. They can't sweat, same as chickens. They don't sweat, so they start panting. They hold their wings out. And if they don't have a way to cool off, then they can, suffer heat exhaustion. But ducks are super easy because you just fill a kiddie pool and they're just going to float around all summer in it.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. That was my question.
Yeah, and chickens can't do that or don't.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't, but our chickens will stand in a kiddie pool. I don't know if they've learned it from the ducks.
Oh,
or
interesting.
They just get hot. I mean, that's the best way to cool a chicken off that is suffering heat exhaustion. You don't want to dunk her completely, but just get her to a cool place like a garage or a mudroom or something, and then just put her feet in cool water. And that's the quickest way to cool down her body temperature. So in the summer, I'm not a big fan of the nipple waterers anyway, because chickens aren't mammals, so they don't nurse. So it's not like a natural way to drink, but I just use tubs for water, and the chickens will stand in them in the summer when they get hot to cool down. So if you provide them with what they need, just like with everything else, they know what to do with it, and it makes your job a lot easier.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I do the same thing I have oddly, ironically enough, like roasting pans that I got from the the thrift store, and I usually put watermelon there because that way it doesn't, it doesn't get dirty when they're eating it. But in the summer, I will put, I'll fill it with cold water and some ice cubes, and a couple of the smarter ones will stand in there and eat. If they're hot, they'll stand in there and they'll know. I'll just give them a little wading pool, just about an inch of water. So
Those roasting pans are the best. I use them for feed also. And what's nice about them, if you get the lid as well, at night you can just put the lid on and then that keeps mice out.
oh, see, go to your thrift store.
So since we're talking about
That is a good tip.
since we're talking about ducks right now, I heard something recently, and I haven't had a chance to confirm it. The source is very, very reliable, but you never know. You never know, and it sounds extreme, but it also
I think I know what you're going to say.
Oh no. What?
No, let him go.
okay. I'll be shocked if you do, but maybe you do. I don't know. Or maybe it was on one of our lives. All right, so we have been fans of and have done chicken coops and duck house combos and letting them stay together. And the thing about ducks that I've learned is the female ducks are the noisy ones, the male ducks are the quiet ones, but we want the female ducks for the eggs, right? But I have never heard of this, and I just would like confirmation, because if this is true, we got to bring this up when people are like, hey, can we have ducks and chickens together? Is it true that if you have a male duck mate with a female hen, because the penis on a duck is corkscrew, will insert its corkscrew penis into the female duck and potentially cause harm?
You mean hen?
Hen, sorry, thank you. By ripping it out. Is that true?
Okay, theoretically, that is true. Realistically, we have had ducks and chickens together for 14 years. We've had roosters off and on. We have always had a drake in with our chickens and ducks. Not once has our drake tried to mate with a chicken.
Oh,
like never.
Even try to mate.
Yeah,
Or
I
even
had.
tried to. I mean,
I'll
I
agree.
think that the people who, I think, first of all, I think it's an urban myth, sort of, that somebody read about this and now everyone says, oh, you can't keep them together, it's going to happen. I think if it is happening, the people that I hear from that it has happened, they don't have any female ducks. So they've got this, drake all by himself. And he's like, what the heck,
That happened to a friend of mine.
But yeah. And I think it's, again, common sense. And also, if you've got young drakes, they can be super friendly during the mating season. So it's never a bad idea to separate your drake in the spring, even from your female ducks, if you don't want to hatch eggs, because the females can get seriously over mated. He pulls on the back of their head. That's where their sinuses run. So they can get all sorts of, sinus infections and feathers ripped out and just exhausted. So it's never a bad idea to separate a drake. But realistically, it's not going to happen. That's not what animals do. They generally don't look for other species to mate with.
Yeah.
So the important part is to, if you have male ducks that you
Well, no.
that if you have male, you needed a pen. Normally I do like to throw things at him, but if you have male ducks, that you should have at least a female duck you shouldn't just have just male ducks with your chickens.
Just a male duck with a bunch of chickens. And during mating season, think about, separating the ducks from the chickens or that young duck. I mean, we have a drake named Bad Boy who gets timeouts because, he's bad. So, again, you've got to use your common sense, watch what they're doing. So that's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought what you were going to say is that at the end of mating season, the drake's penis falls right off and he regrows a new one the following spring. Which is true.
See, it is
Bigger
not
and better
fun
the following spring.
being a male in the animal kingdom. Let me tell you
Oh
what.
man, being a male in the chicken world, I mean, you're lucky to even make it to.
Dude, you begin your life. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
So, but now that is even worse.
Wow.
Imagine
I
when
have
you're.
never personally found one, but people have sent me pictures. They've actually found the discarded member.
Why?
This is a really interesting show.
Yeah.
I'm so
Why?
glad.
There has to be
turn.
There has to be a reason.
Wait, and did you say it grows
I
back?
guess they don't. Yeah, bigger and better. It grows back in the spring.
well,
I
now
guess
that-
There we go.
Now that's different. Okay, I can maybe. How long? How long does it take? No. So I want it to be a surprise. I can't write anymore because I don't write anymore. So anyways, can someone who is listening out there in the office bring in at least 2, maybe 3 of our baby ducks that we have on hand that we hatch? I just thought it'd be fun. You missed all this while you were on vacation. Since we are talking about ducks, and we have some baby ducks here, I just thought it'd be fun to bring it in, put them on the table. Because there is actually a couple questions I was hoping we could ask about the baby ducks. And actually a little bit was yesterday. We have the ducks where they're in their little brooder. And little did I know a duck is going to grow an inch every day, if not more. Like, it is insane how fast they grow.
Yeah.
But we wanted to put them in the pool to play. But I was really curious that since they don't have their adult feathers yet, was it going to be too cold for them, even though it's really, really warm here and they didn't show any signs of stress? But I was curious what we should be aware of to make sure maybe the water needs to be warm enough so they don't get cold. I know with like baby chicks, if they go back and forth with a drastic change, it could increase things like pasty butt or something like that. I just wasn't sure what we should be aware of when we're going to take the baby ducks out of the brooder. We want them to go be ducks. And who doesn't love watching a duck play in the water, especially a baby duck? What are some of the things we need to be aware of there?
No, that's a really good point. So baby ducks hatched under a mother duck come out and she preens them and gets them all waterproofed. So that's why they can float around in a pond at like a day old, because they're out in the wild and they need that protection. If they hatch in an incubator, they're not even waterproof until they're about a month old. So you definitely should get them out swimming, because when you take them out, I usually like to towel dry them, but they'll preen and they'll, get their preen glands going. I can hear them, to waterproof themselves. But yeah, baby ducks can get chilled. They can
They're
drown.
so big.
How old are they?
They are big.
So here's Mackenzie and Amber. Come on in,
How
guys.
how old are they? They look like
They were
Fledglings.
hatched on the 28th.
hatched on the 28th.
Go ahead, put it right down on the table. So
my
the reason why I said
so
bring in,
nice.
it's all right. The reason why I said bring in some is because they freak out if they're not together. So you can hear that distress. And let's see if they calm down a little bit. But I just thought, did you guys get pooped on? I just thought, oh my God, well that didn't take long. We can, instead of chicken bingo, we should be playing duck bingo. Yeah, so we have Cheese, Walter, and
Chicken.
his name's Chicken.
Chicken.
Okay, so they are just going nuts. So I was looking at them and I noticed. All right, well, hold on, don't go too far because you guys are gonna take it. They're not like baby chicks. They're not hanging out. I just thought, so we hatched 3 of them, and oh my God, they stink. That smells so bad. That looks like a good poop, right? Poop expert. They're healthy.
So-
they look good.
Matt, let Lisa finish. So you say, Lisa, that you're supposed to get them in the water.
Chicken.
So we've just completely lost control. I want people to hear what you said because it's important. What Lisa said about the chicks.
Yeah, so
The ducks.
So incubator hatch ducklings can drown. Don't leave them unsupervised. I like to put like a little, a lot of people use like a paint tray, how
Okay.
it's like sloped, so it's kind of like a pool with a shallow end and a deep end. Put
good.
that in the brooder if you have room. I mean, they're going to be in their water bowl constantly and they're going to constantly be wet, in the brooder, but they've got the heat lamp and stuff in there to keep warm. I do like to give them short swims in warm-ish water, towel dry them off, and then put them right back under the heat, and then they'll, finish that. But yeah, swimming is so good for them. It builds up their leg and feet muscles, and it does get them used to preening so they can then start waterproofing themselves. And by 4 weeks or so, 5 weeks, they should have feathers, But still, I'm careful with the little ones with water anyway, just because you wouldn't want them to drown. So I never leave them unsupervised and take them out. That peeping you heard,
Yeah.
that's like distress keeping. So if they start doing that when they're swimming, they're cold. But I mean, they have a blast. When they first learn that they can swim underwater, it's hysterical.
Oh my God, it was so fun watching them. I mean, they had their little bowl, and I didn't want them to drown or anything like that. And I didn't want, I want to be very careful. But then we put them in Gus's pool. Thank God Gus wasn't here. He'd been so mad. But they were just diving and swimming. And again, I don't know if it's right or wrong. This is my first time actually raising baby ducks. It's my first time hatching uh, ducklings, I guess is the right term, right? We were taking some strawberries and just throwing in the water, little pieces of watermelon, whatever. They were just having a blast eating it. It was so fun. I am so glad I asked. I didn't realize the importance of it. I just didn't want them to get bored. I figured, oh, they're a duck. They got to go swim. I didn't realize how important it is for them to build up those muscles and start the preening, the waterproofing process. Wow. Had no idea. Did you?
No, I didn't know about that, about the preening. That
So much duck
Functionality.
information tonight.
yeah.
You know, it's interesting with the ducks because obviously I've written more about chickens, but there is so much more information out there about ducks because of duck hunting, unfortunately. So
Ah.
duck hunters have really studied ducks and their behaviors and how they see and how they think and what they do. And I mean, there's tons of information about ducks, which obviously, since all domestic ducks have descended from the mallard, they're all pretty much the same. And there's hardly any information about like chicken, like science behavior stuff, because nobody really cares, you know, but duck hunters really want to get inside the mind of the duck. And I've just learned and read so much fascinating stuff about ducks from the like Ducks Unlimited and those duck hunting sites.
That's a good pro tip. I mean, that makes perfect sense. And I tell you, they are obsessed.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So then another quick question then. I just did what I thought was right with the research I did, but you never know. We used, when it comes to the brooder, I really love the heat plates that you can get now. Instead of having to use a heat lamp, I used it with the baby ducks and they loved it. You know, I can't think we did anything wrong, especially if they're growing an inch. I am not exaggerating.
Yeah, they grow so fast.
Dude, you can see them in the morning. Like, I guarantee you what you just saw, if we bring them back in about an hour, they're going to be bigger. I mean, it's just absolutely not. Is it okay to use a heat plate in a brooder for ducks?
It is. I mean, you're just going to end up raising it probably every day because they do grow so fast. But they're also super cold, super more cold tolerant. You know, baby chicks, you start at 95 degrees and you drop it 5 degrees a week. With baby ducks, you start it at 90 and drop it 7 degrees a week. So if you do a side-by-side chart in 4 or 5 weeks, you see how much lower the temperature can be for the ducks. It's really pretty drastic, even just that small little tweak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a question from Stormy. She says, is it odd that my chickens sometimes forego playing around in my run to go perch in their hen house during the day? The weather has been in the New York Hudson Valley cool and warm. No food or water is in there. Matt, your chickens do that.
Oh my God, all the time. I was like, oh dear. That's why I was really quiet. My chickens, the chickens out here, they hang out most of the day, definitely in the coop when they can free range, go into the woods and have the time of their life, right? And I'm thinking, well, if they have that freedom, they're happy to be in there. Or is something going on outside that's making them want to go into the coop?
Maybe they were trying to get away from your dog.
Well, listen.
Yeah, they might sense something. And I've noticed, you know, when we free range, all of a sudden everybody's kind of heading for the coop or under the trees. And I realize that there's a hawk circling or, you know, they're sensing that something is not quite right.
Yeah, it's I didn't have my chickens ever go back into the coop unless it was into the hen house unless it was to lay or sleep. But that's the first time I saw it was when you had like 7,000 chickens in your coop and they were
I
all
had 24, double the amount I should have.
and they were I was like, why are they all hanging out here?
Yeah, it is unusual. I've never seen that before.
Right. But I don't know, Stormy, let us know how old your chickens are because that might have something to do with it. Maybe they're just.
I mean, honestly, I would shut the coop and stick a box in the run with some nesting material for them to lay in. I'd be like, you're not staying in the coop all day.
Yeah,
Not right.
It's unusual.
Yeah, easy. But it depends on how old because if they want to lay or they want to, I don't know.
And you do have to really watch the chickens because it could be that there's something out there that they are sensing that there's a fox or there's something that they're not feeling quite safe enough. So definitely, you know, watch your chickens' behavior because they're probably trying to tell you something.
Right. Do you find that you change what you feed your chickens in the summer?
I mean, I feed mine layer feed year round just because our ducks usually lay for most of the winter. Sometimes we have young chickens that just started laying. So I know some people like to switch to the grower in the winter, but it's no less expensive. So I don't understand. To me, it doesn't really seem to make any sense. And I feel like giving them a little extra calcium through the winter, they kind of build up the stores so they're ready to lay in the spring. So I feed layer feed year round. And then I do add oats to it, especially for the ducks, the ducklings. I add oats to my chicken feed because it cuts the protein levels a little bit, and ducks do grow really fast, and that can slow them down a little bit, which is good. And then in the winter, I'll add maybe cracked corn or sunflower seeds, something like that, just to give them, because they're bored and there's snow and whatever. And then in the summer, they just get the feed. They eat so much less in the summer because they can free range. There are weeds.
Right. That's
There's
great.
just more to eat. But I
That's-
do
it's so
always
nice.
put food out for them. And I mean, they self-regulate. So I try to put out what I think they're going to eat for the day, but they're not going to overeat. So you don't have to worry about leaving your chickens food 24/7. They'll overeat, trash that they shouldn't be eating, if you have like leftover cheeseburgers or whatever, spaghetti, all that kind of stuff. But their feed, they're only going to eat what they need. And then I supplement with kitchen scraps, garden scraps, watermelon, fresh fruits and stuff in the summer. And then, dried grubs, scratch grains, things like that in the winter.
Right.
So a question, I have to believe I've asked this before because I heard this potential urban myth, or maybe it's true and it makes sense. If you are someone that is very worried about the heat in your environment and you're looking to get the perfect breed of chicken for high heat areas, one of the things I've read, and it's probably one of the ugliest chickens after maybe silkies, maybe even before silkies, I know, Turkins. Is it true that Turkins were designed to have a naked neck, which is also what they're been known to be called, so that they can let that heat escape quicker so they can be more heat tolerant? Is that true?
I don't know. That is one breed of chicken I would never even consider having. So I have literally zero interest in learning anything about them, which is probably terrible.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
a refreshing and honest answer that I agree with 100%.
Yeah.
they're
You
awesome.
have to ask Dahlia. She would know because I think she's had Turkins. From
I mean,
Welcome to
it makes
Chickenland.
sense. Chickens, their comb is their radiator. So that's where they release their body heat. So if you look at the heat tolerant breeds like Leghorns, Andalusians, Penedefencas, they're all fairly small chickens, sleek. They're not like chubby like the Orpingtons. And they have really big combs because that's how they let the heat escape from their bodies. And that's really the only way other than panting. So I would say that, yes, having no feathers would probably help them stay cool.
I think more importantly, though, is just shade, water, dust bath, the things that they naturally do to keep cool rather than trying to, I'd rather have a Orpington in the shade than a Turkin in full sun.
We have we have a customer. You guys are not going to believe this. She has air conditioners in her coop.
Why?
Can't. Some people just.
You know what? I tried a box fan in front of the coop my first year. Thought like it's so hot in here, and just to like if they want to get, because I didn't have as much shade cover as I do now, because now I have all the grapes and everything growing.
Show off.
I know.
I'm so jealous.
But they never stood in front of it. I mean, sometimes they do. If like I've seen videos where people will have like that ice block in the fan and they stand in front of it. Mine never did. They always just went under the shrub or dug a hole. Like they never. I was like, all right, now I'm just, even though I have solar, I'm like, I'm wasting electricity on something and they're not even using this. So
Yeah, what do we call that?
what?
When we project our human.
Oh,
we always talk about it.
Yes, anthropomorph.
Yes, that. We
My
need a
chickens.
recording that we can just.
I tell you,
Yes.
the one place I've always seen a fan.
so we don't have to pronounce it anymore.
When it comes to having backyard chickens, where I've seen a fan be extremely useful, is up on the ceiling to scare them if you want them off, say, your front porch.
Yes, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. They're so aware of aerial predators, and I had it happen in my garage. I just happened to turn the ceiling fan on, and they were gone. I was like, I'll remember that one.
Because you have a ceiling fan
And
in your
fans
garage?
can help with flies too.
Yes.
Oh,
Like the moving air will help with the flies. But so what people might not realize, I mean, I live in Maine now, but when we started raising chickens, we were living in Virginia. So I had 8 years of raising chickens in a very hot, humid climate, which I'm kind of grateful for because I did learn a lot of tricks. And we did that redneck air conditioning with the frozen milk bottle with the fan, blowing air. And it does really cool the air in the coop down. But I found more efficient was just to start cutting holes in the sides of my coop and turning them into huge windows. So there was tons of airflow always. But yeah, chickens have it rough. I do try to free range a lot more when it's hot because the chickens are going to have an easier time staying cool, finding their own spot than if they're confined to the run. And predators are not out hunting when it's extremely hot because they're trying to stay cool too. So I feel like you're kind of mitigating your risk a lot by free ranging on the super hot days. And the chickens, sure enough, you'll find them, making dust baths, burrowing down in the dirt, under the trees, wherever they can find that's cool.
Yep, absolutely. So we have a couple more questions. By the way, East Stormy said her chickens were 10 weeks, so that might explain why they
That's how old ours are, right?
Yeah, yours
They're
are older
just
than that
babies.
now. Yeah, so
So
that's
they're
probably why they're going into the coop, because they know that's
It's cozy.
yeah, the
probably,
hen house,
yeah.
because they know it's. John asked, what about layer feed with 19% protein versus the usual 16%? Like, how do you know what percent of protein that you need for layer feed? That's
Well,
best.
I mean, anyone who has ducks should really not go for the high end because ducks, like you said, they grow really fast. If they get heavy, it puts a lot of strain on their legs, and that's just really hard on them. So I prefer to cut the protein. So I stick with a 16% and then cut the protein. More protein, people say it's going to help them lay more if they have higher protein. I give mine a lot of meat scraps though, fish scraps, shrimp shells, lobster shells, things like that. So, I feel like it all kind of evens out. But I would never use like a all flock or, game bird or anything like that with like 20 or 22% protein. I think you're just giving chickens way more than they need. And personally, I don't want mine to lay more than they would normally. I don't need to force mine to lay more eggs.
Lisa's just like bragging by like, I give them lobster shell and stuff.
I was thinking,
just because you're like in Maine, it's like, just lobster shell. We just have lobsters just walking around down the street here.
I was thinking, those scraps sound pretty good.
Road trip to
So
Lisa's.
much flack every time I share a picture of my chickens, picking through the lobster shells, but they love it. Like all that nasty green stuff and all the stuff in the body and the gills and all that, they pick them clean. So they love when we have lobster. It's gotten expensive, so we don't have it as much as we used to. But when we first moved here, I mean, it was very inexpensive, and we did eat lobster a lot.
So we have a couple more questions. Should I go on with okay.
I have a question. Lisa, you have so many good books. Can you just run through those books really, just like tell us your books, just run through them real quick. Like, I know you have so many different topics and
Yeah, basically what I would love to do, and I was going to finish up, is we want Lisa to do some bragging. Show us what you've done, because this is the value that our viewers, our listeners are going to have right now, because you are such a great, wonderful person.
Exactly. That's exactly what I want to see.
Yeah, we couldn't get it in the shot.
And I just happen to have all my books here.
I can tell you guys, these books are amazing, and don't believe everything you see out there. Don't believe everything you read, hear this on the internet. But when you can go to some of the experts that keep it real and explain it like Lisa is here, I can guarantee you success.
Plus, books are fact-checked. Things you read on the internet or self-published books or blogs, nobody's fact-checking them. People can say whatever they want. When you write a book, you have someone fact-checking everything you're saying. I had to provide resources and links to studies and all that kind of stuff. Right. So anyway, okay. First book, started it all, Fresh Eggs Daily. Great beginner book. It is not a kid's book, but it's actually written on a 5th grade level, which I'm told is the level that I write on. So, grammar school kids can enjoy reading it as well, which I think is kind of cool. They can get involved. Duck Eggs Daily, which it sounds like you need. Same book, but about ducks. Also a great free book.
Adds to cart.
Yeah, exactly.
Adds to cart. Let's Hatch Chicks. This is really a cute book. It's a storybook about my chicken Violet, who wants to be a mom. And so it's kind of her fictional story, but then alongside it is like a hatch day by day. So like for a teacher or a homeschooler, what's happening inside the egg on day 1, day 2, day 3, which parallels, Violet's quest to become a mom. It's just really, it's like gorgeously illustrated, and they took pictures of my chickens and drew them, whatever. Very cute kids book.
I love that.
Gardening with Chickens, which is how to keep your gardens safe from your chickens. Basically the book could have been 1 page, fence in your chickens or fence in your garden. Yeah. But I do have some different ways to try to keep your plants safe, and also things to plant for your chickens, things that they'll enjoy, herbs, edible flowers, things like that. This one was fun. This book came out I believe about like 8 years after my first book, 101 Chicken Keeping Hacks. And this is basically everything that I learned and refined over the first 10 years. So it's kind of like once you've got your basics down, take it up a level. Like learn how to make some new snacks or treats or your own electrolytes or just all kinds of cool tricks and things to make your life easier. And then DIY chicken keeping, which is a bunch of projects like how to make nesting boxes and roosting bars and little salad bars for your chicken. So if you're like handy or you want like weekend projects, some are easy, some are more difficult. If you like building stuff, great book. And then my cookbook, which is my latest book, came out last year. 100 egg recipes, all my favorite recipes, sweet, savory beverages. I think you guys were drinking the maple sour last time we talked.
Yes, Kristen has something too that she.
Matter of fact, I've been using it's been a year, and I've got some food stained pages in here, so which means I've been using this. And
is that what's over here? Because I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah. So last night I made from your book. I was looking, okay, what do I have in my kitchen? And I made the maple cake. I'm sorry, what is it called exactly? The maple.
Yes, the maple walnut cake.
Maple walnut cake.
Is it walnuts? I asked you if it was
pecans because I didn't have walnuts, but
because I like
everything
pecans,
else.
but that doesn't look like a pecan.
So
It looks like walnuts.
No, they're pecans.
Oh my god!
And it was pretty good.
It's really
actually.
good.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
That's one of my favorite cakes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so easy too.
Yeah. Sorry, Ingrid.
I'm gonna go get it. Hang on.
Hold on.
You like that, huh?
This is really good.
Yeah. Everything I've made out of that cake, out of that cookbook has been excellent.
No. Listen. People accuse me of being a picky eater. That is really good.
Yeah, it is.
It is really good. So here's the.
Yes.
I also have been making a blueberry cobbler.
I almost made that. Made that. It's
That's
blueberry
really good,
season,
too.
not really maple season, but anyhow.
Exactly. That's a yummy summer dessert. Yeah, so there's a lot of savory as well. There's eggs Benedict and just, toad in the hole and pretty much anything you can do with eggs. So this was a fun one to write. And whether or not you have chickens or ducks, it's,
That's a good
everyone
point.
eats eggs.
That's actually a good point. So Lisa, if you don't mind, if you have a couple more minutes, I'd love to hammer through. I see more questions coming in. I definitely want to give our viewers a chance. If you don't mind, we can fire away. Here's our friend Misty out in the Pacific Northwest.
She said, did you say you need layer feed if you have young chickens? I have a mix of a year-old hens and 10-week-old hens. 10-week-old pullets, I guess. I thought you need to switch to chick feed. So what do you do when you have a mixed flock of young and old?
That's a really good question. We're getting a lot of questions about that this time of year because people have older hens and then they added new hens. So when you're adding to an established flock and they're not all the same age, you want to put everybody on the feed that the youngest would be eating because it's more detrimental for the chicks to be eating layer feed because that calcium can end up giving them kidney stones later in life because it's too much calcium for their bodies, whereas a laying hen can eat chick feed no problem. Just make sure that you have crushed eggshell or oyster shell, free choice, so the layers can eat that, and believe me, they will. If you want to see your chickens eat a calcium supplement, put them on chick feed that doesn't have the extra calcium in it. They will make up and blow through that supplement. So that's an easy way to do it because you're never going to be able to separate the feeds and make sure the chicks are only eating theirs. And so just put everybody on chick feed.
And just make sure it's unmedicated, right?
I don't believe in medicated feed anyway. I just don't really
if
think
you
it's
have hens,
necessary.
you don't want it. Yeah, you don't want the hens.
I just stick clumps of grass and dirt in my brooder and call it good. I kickstart their immune system that way.
So Bridget asks, we will be getting our new chicks next month. 3 Australorp, 3 Green Queens, and a few Bantam Silkies. Matt's favorite. Hope they all get along. Best information for new Silky Bantam to be mama.
I've never raised Silkies. What I understand, they
no
do
wonder
have
Matt likes you so much.
I was on PL and Smith's podcast once years ago, and he loves his Silkies. And he asked me what I thought about Silky, or he was going to give a 4-H club or whatever. He was going to donate some Silky eggs to them to hatch. And I said, sure, give these poor 4-Hers chicks that are going to hatch into chickens that aren't going to ever want to lay eggs. They're just going to want to sit on eggs and hatch more chicks. Like that is like the worst breed of chicken you can give to somebody. And I mean, fortunately, he's a great guy and has a great sense of humor. But I mean,
Better than nothing,
I
but
will-
I see your point. Yeah.
so many silky people contact me and they're like, my silky just sits on eggs endlessly. Like that's all she wants to do is just sit on eggs, which to me, I don't know. But yeah, I do believe, I think they can't get wet also. Like they have different feathers, like they don't have normal chicken feathers. So I would definitely like find a silky group or somebody like a silky breeder and read up on them. Cause I really like the Turkins, something that I really have no desire to raise, and people don't hate me for that.
But if you have a bunch of mixed chickens, the chickens are not going to care that one's a silky and one's a bantam and one's they're not.
Not if they're
they'll be
raised
fine.
No,
Yeah.
I would just be careful with bantams if you have a standard size rooster, because during mating season the bantams are really teeny and that could be a problem.
Yeah. Here's another question by Amber. Is it okay to always put vitamins in their water, or should this only be used when they're sick or extreme weather? Like electrolytes.
Oh, that's actually a good idea. I have my electrolytes here. You can keep plain Pedialyte on hand, or buy the Save a Chick or whatever. But I make my electrolytes. It's just like sugar, salt, baking soda, potassium chloride, and I keep this powder in the coop so I can add it to the water. You don't want to give it all the time. You want to give it like during a heat wave. If you see somebody heat stressed, if you get shipped chicks and they're not looking that great, if somebody's under the weather, it should be like an as needed, not they get the vitamins they need in their feed and what they're eating. So it should definitely be just during, extreme temperatures.
Right. And she has this cute speckled Sussex as her picture.
So hold on, I want to comment on Patty S's comment. And this is great. And again, why I love this show. But I learned something. I mean, it's just so important. So Patty says that she went to order one of your books, and she didn't know which one to order. But that quick rundown you gave helped her. I was like, man, that helped me.
Yeah.
And that was just so valuable.
It's
just
great for a gift.
explaining boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. I am hoping, Ingrid, and I'm not sure if Lisa, if we've ever talked business, do we have her books possibly on our website?
We do.
Perfect. I thought we would.
From last time, yeah.
And I just thought that was just so good.
Yeah.
If we were able to chop up this video for later, with Lisa's permission, of course, if people just click play on, well, which one should I order? I mean, I was just so good. I'm so glad you asked that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have a book for a beginner, that would be, and another one that would be a great gift for an experienced chicken person with 101, and maybe a one for the chicken daddy who wants some projects. Not
For
to
Father's
sexist, but
Day,
yeah.
definitely for Father's Day,
Yeah.
Dad can make a whole bunch of projects.
Yeah.
I use power tools, so there's some projects in that DIY chicken keeping.
And the children's book sounds fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that, yeah.
And the cookbook
fantastic.
that I can't pry
Cookbook.
away from Kristen's
Yeah, I know,
hands,
sorry.
so I can't even use it.
It's
or
already
like,
dirty.
That's all right. She absconded with that one
Yeah.
when we got that one. So
That's funny.
yeah. Whoa.
Whoa. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Whoa, we got to definitely talk about this.
What?
That would be, okay, we got to talk business. Hold on. So I don't know if this is true, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. She says, if you go to Lisa's Etsy account, you can get it autographed. So that's awesome. I want people. Can we make it so that when people buy books, maybe we just buy a bunch of books from Lisa, have her autograph them or whatever, and then they can buy them directly. And we can just fulfill it here. That would be cool. Do you find that people see the value when they're purchasing your books, if it's autographed or not?
Yeah, I mean, I do. Why do I think the books are over there? The books are over here.
That's okay. Because you're looking at it backwards. That's all.
I do. I mean, I always keep, a couple of copies on hand, and then more during the holidays, obviously for gifts. I do stock up around Christmas and that. But yeah, I sell a fair number. I mean, I could order cases right from the publisher, sign them, reseal the box, and send them on to you or something like that, probably.
I just think that'd be cool, because to get the extra touch if they order it from us. And I'm not here to make money off of books. I just want to put content that people trust. If Matt and Kristen and everyone else from Carolina Coops says this is good stuff, I want them to be in front of it, because I always tell people, challenge us, but I challenge them, go do your research. Just don't believe everything you read, hear, see, but use some common sense. And I mentioned that earlier, and I think it was Mike Trapper. Someone said, the common sense today is just not what it used to be. And I agree, and that is very, very scary. So it's another way of my way of saying, listen, we got to get back to be able to talk to each other again and using our brains. And it's just another great way to do so.
It's. I think the problem is because chicken keeping became more and more popular, there was more and more stuff on the internet, and people immediately go to the internet. And like Lisa was saying, it's like her books have citations, so it's not just a statement because of another reason, for whatever self-serving reason they might have it, or just not knowing.
Yeah. It's funny because back in 2008, 2009, when I first started with chickens as an adult, there was almost no information. I mean, Facebook had just started. There was no Instagram, no TikTok, whatever. And it was kind of hard to find information about chickens. Now it's the opposite problem. There's too much information, and too many people are trying to learn how to raise chickens or any animal by watching a TikTok, 15-second TikTok like that. Or they follow my Facebook page and they just kind of wait for me to maybe post something that they might have a question about, instead of like doing a deep dive and either going to my website and, clicking on the info for beginners, or buying a book and getting a good foundation. Like, social media is a great way to learn tips or tricks or have a community to ask questions, but it's not how you initially learn how to do anything.
Right.
Like, it's because it's just little pieces and snippets that someone decides to feed to you. You really need to get that foundation of, a website, or like I used the University of Maine Poultry Extension has an excellent poultry section. And I read a ton of their articles, when I was getting started. And just too many people just kind of sit back and wait for someone to feed them that information, instead of being proactive and saying, I need to learn what to do for my chickens in the summer.
Right. So I like that term. That kind of makes me now sum up VCL, Video Chicken Live. We are, in a way, I would like to think of us as the foundation for learning backyard chickens. And it's not just about memorizing what we say. And it's just like today, we had some wonderful customers come in today to pick up accessories. They're building their own coop, and it's becoming a huge part of our business. And I love that they're out there building, but they started, measuring things, this and that. And I'm like, I know the path they're going to go down is wrong. You got to understand why. That's the important thing. And that's what I hope people get from this show, is it's not about just memorizing everything we say, but hopefully they're realizing why, or to help them take bits and pieces and come to their own conclusion. So we can be that foundation. Yes.
Like it sparks another question, and then they go and research it. And when you're researching, again, I write a blog. Don't use my blog as the gospel, even though I know that everything is researched and it's good advice. But, use scientific sites or educational sites, or go to a source that you really can trust.
Right.
Is what I would say.
We have a question from Renee. Here's a good one. What size nesting box, this could be for you too, Matt, should I make for my large hens? I have Buff Orpingtons, Barred Rocks, and Rhode Island Red.
Has anybody ever taken a picture? Is there anything out there? It's like a dog. You got a big fluffy dog and you give him a bath. It's like, whose dog's this? I get this a lot. And I would love to hear what Lisa says first. God knows I've already been on record saying this. But again, here's a textbook example that I think a lot of people overthink it, but there are certain things you want to think about so that you can, like you always say, Kristen, you want to encourage their instincts. You know what I mean? What did chickens do before anyone invented the first nest box? But Lisa, I'm assuming you get this question all the time.
Yeah, and the standard answer is 12 by 12, a 12-inch cube. You don't want it any bigger than that. And you're right, even the biggest chickens can smush themselves. And even 12 by 12, I have 2 chickens in one box many, many times. So I think you could even go smaller than that if you wanted to. Same with the little door, the little chicken door. People ask me all the time how big it is. And it's like 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 10 or something like that. People question if that's big enough for ducks or for larger chickens. And of course it is.
Yes.
Have you ever squeezed through a tiny little hole in something? They can...
Stop thinking chickens are humans, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you, Lisa. So it's exactly that. And there are people that are like, oh, Matt, that's too small. I'm like, if we make it any bigger, you're going to be mad because you're definitely going to encourage 2 chickens in there. And that might be good in some situations, might be bad. You know what I mean? That's why I love our nest boxes where the dividers can be removable, because making a production coop that is a one-size-fits-all, make everyone happy to all their different breeds, what they've read, what they believe, what they don't believe is hard. But yes, I mean, it's just that simple. They want that nice, snug area. They want to feel safe. And then the other thing I've learned is they want it dimly lit. They don't want it in a real bright area. And to me, that just makes sense. If I was a chicken trying to go be vulnerable for a minute to lay an egg and there's predators all around me, I'm going to go where it's safe. And also when I leave that egg behind, it's safe, right?
Right.
Curtains. I
Yes.
get glass also for putting curtains over my nesting boxes. I have them like on a curtain rod with like rings. I've actually had broody hens pull the curtain shut across in front of her.
Oh, that is so good. I love it.
They definitely. And then I have other chickens because I have like just a chair with a bowl in it that I can put outside. Like when it's really, really hot in the summer, sometimes I put that in the run so they can lay their eggs without going into the coop. And I have chickens who are exhibitionists who just choose that, open air chair. We're fine. But yeah, for the most part, curtains. And if they can close them themselves, the better. And then too, once they've laid their egg, another chicken isn't going to walk by and think that maybe she should sit on it or eat it or do whatever she's going to do.
It's funny, in the summer, I have the rain barrel for the waterer, and because it's facing the sun, I use a shade cloth over it so it doesn't heat up the water. And the chickens have discovered that that's like a great little place where they don't have to go up into the hen house.
Oh.
And and only in the summer I'll find I didn't realize it until I found like a dozen eggs in there one time, because they always go up into the nest box because the coop is just so great. But I was like, oh, I guess it's hot and they're not laying. And then all of a sudden I found this mother load. So now every summer I just put straw in there for them, and they'll go in there. And once one does it, of course, the others follow. And that way it's nice and cool for them. So, but
that's a good idea because, I mean, even our coop, we had a couple of hot days and our coop was over 100 degrees. And a chicken doesn't walk into the coop, sit down, pop her egg out and leave.
No.
It takes her like 15 or 20 minutes to get settled and whatever. So she's in there for quite a bit of time. So that's why one reason I have the chair, because I can move it outside, put it, under a tree or a bush or whatever. They seem to like it.
Lisa, thank you so much for your time today. As always, it is so great to have you here. And best of luck to you on next things that you are going to be working on. And hopefully we'll be talking again soon, doing another one of these shows.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Anytime.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Lisa. We'll be in touch.
Bye.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye.
I can't believe it's 1:06 already. Time just flies, when you're having fun.
Yes.
This show is so much fun. It's so good to be back on the air. I'm going to ask you guys, I want it to be public. The first thing I asked you, I didn't even say hello to you this morning. I was like, you're done, right? You're done
I said
leaving.
hello to you.
I thought you were Emma, actually, because you're sitting at Emma's desk. You're done vacationing, right? You're not leaving anymore. We're going to be back weekly, Video Chicken, right? I just want to make sure. There are so many people that are mad when we don't do Video Chicken, which I love. That's a great compliment. But hold on. I'm dropping the hammer right now. We have people that are really mad. We even had someone madder than hell because we didn't tell them we weren't having a show, and they spent like 45 minutes
Trying to find it,
which, okay, you think of it what you want, but that's still, again, they're only helping us, So it's like, man, wouldn't it be great if we did potentially like a pre-recorded show? If there are days, we do deserve a break, I guess, once in a while. But and we got to always make sure. Ingrid works so hard to make sure we have guests and good content. It's not easy to do these things that she does. We don't just give people like Lisa Steele a call and be like, hey, can you come on the show? No, it takes some time. So we also want to make sure the shows don't become boring. But, doing pre-recorded shows. So no more vacations, right? We have no more reasons to not have upcoming shows.
Well,
You're so scared to answer this.
I don't
What are you
know.
not telling me?
I'm trying to think of. I was going to take some time off around July 4th.
Here we go.
I don't know.
Well, as always, guys, if you have ideas, things that you want us to talk about that we haven't yet, please let us know. And yes, I did see that one comment. They go, does Matt realize he's eating cake off a table a duck just pooped on?
That's how we roll here.
Yeah, that's true. But it was over there. Never touched the sanitation surface here. But I did make sure. I kept checking. Go, that's not the napkin, right? It's down there that I wiped the poop up. So we also have in today's studio is James, our social media guy. He's been here now. How long you been here, James?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. It's 6 weeks already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, and he knew.
Oh, 'cause they're counting down to the 90 day because people can be terminated like that within their 90 days. So he's doing really, really well. I hope everyone out there has seen our increase of social media content. I've asked James, just throw all kinds of different stuff out there. And also, when you're old, when you don't even realize what is a reel, what is a story. I don't know, but obviously it's still something that we have to do. I think there's been really, really good content. And I also did ask James, because he's been coming to me, he goes, Matt, we got some questions. And he was going to type in the answers. I said, no, let me answer them on camera. And there was one of them that we did that the question was, Matt, what do I do when I've tried everything dealing with mice in my chicken coop? And I answered one of them. But when you got, 30 seconds?
A minute 30.
Okay, a minute 30. You can imagine how long my answer was. So it was just a short part of a long answer. And I mentioned using bait inside a hen house, inside that void, to eventually get rid of your mice if you've done everything, and also if you don't want all the work going in there and opening it up. So it's been a lot of fun, and I just want to make sure if you guys haven't seen it, go check that out. But if you have any ideas, questions, thoughts, let us know, because the questions are what help keep giving us the ideas for videos, but more importantly, they're telling us what we haven't answered yet.
Right.
So with all that said, James, I asked you, I said, let's do a section maybe once a week now, top, 5 questions off of social media. And if you can, because I know I don't have a mic for you right now, if you can hand them off to Ingrid. I have no idea what these questions are, but I thought it'd be fun to hammer them. And of course, you guys out there, if you have any other questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section.
Okay. There's a lot of roost bar questions.
Oh,
So
hold on. So next week, I got it here. I got the food grade diatomaceous earth. And there have been a lot of questions about these roost bars, or rope wrap roost bars. And there's people that are so scared that it's going to increase the potential for mites. And there's so much more in the circumstances of that possibly happening that we need to talk about. So yeah.
You pretty much, like 4 of the questions are pretty much that. So one is, what about mites? Is that the rope wrap roost bars? Is that an ideal place for them to hide? Another one asked about treating the roost bars for mites. Could you just dust the rope with diatomaceous earth?
Okay. So we're going to do an official video on this. What I mean by official, long format, horizontal instead of vertical, YouTube, right? And what I realized is, if you're this little tiny mite, and remember, there's different types of mites. There's some mites that are never going to leave the host. Like scaly leg mite, right?
Right.
There's other mites that will leave the host. And in this case, with like roost mites, they will feed on the chicken at night, okay? Just like a bed bug will. They're feeding on the blood. They're going to come off the chicken in the morning and go hide somewhere to digest their meal, right? Well, where they go hide is in a crack or crevice. They're not, or shouldn't be, just hanging out on a surface, okay? Because they're vulnerable, all right? So as an exterminator, one of the things you love when you're going to treat something legally and effectively are cracks and crevices. And what I realized is with the rope wrap roost bars, there are more crevices, more cracks, yes. But in the grand scheme of things, if you picture yourself as a little tiny mite inside this big chicken coop, there's cracks and crevices everywhere, all right? But what I realized is what the rope wrap roost bars They do something more than I originally thought, not just help the feet heal if they have cuts and prevent bumblefoot. We've allowed more cracks and crevices to hold a treatment so it can have even more positive effect. Okay, does that make sense?
Like a sponge.
Yes. In a way, yes. But I love dust. If you ever got an insect problem, there's no better way to quickly reduce and potentially eliminate the infestation. Because dusts have a very good residual life. They also are, they're not going to, I don't know if the word is, a lot of insecticides when you spray are going to go into a material because it's very porous. If it goes into the material, the insects can't touch it. It's like you just wasted your time. Dusts don't do that. But the thing is, I was really curious what the label says for food grade safe diatomaceous earth. And there is no label, believe it or not. There's just straight up instructions. And of course, I didn't know this when I bought this bag of diatomaceous earth, 100%, which I guess is what makes it food safe. It would be non-food safe if you had other ingredients, like a lot of dust we use, piperonal butoxide, a lot of oil-based stuff that go in it to help with the delivery, to help the longevity of it, whatever. So this stuff is just straight up ground up diatoms that are going to cut them up. All right. It's going to be very repellent, but it's also going to dry them out, and it's going to last a good long time. So I was reading the instructions, and it's designed, it says, just sprinkle in the food. And I was like, oh, that took the fun away, because I know we've talked about that it can be beneficial for internal parasites to use diatomaceous in the food. But in this case, it came with a bellows duster.
Wow.
So I don't know who.
It's small. I mean, I was thinking of like
like a little
something.
miniature one?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
thinking
so
when he
cute.
said that, I was thinking of something for a fireplace.
Yeah,
but if you
me
look at
too.
it, it's literally like a little,
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
bellows
okay.
duster. What are you guys talking about?
The one for the fireplace.
like this big.
that you
Oh,
used
is
to
that
see
what it's-
on Looney Tunes cartoons.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
that's,
that.
That's what that.
Yeah.
I
That's
was
what
wondering
that.
why you're asking. I'm like, no, it's just.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's-
That's why I was like, oh my god.
That is an
Yeah,
exterminator's number one tool. And so
The
next
bellows.
week's show, because it's
Interesting.
way too much to get into now, next week's show, we're going to talk about this because I really want to help explain things so people can take the information, use some common sense, and use it correctly. Don't waste it. Here's the thing you got to be careful. Diatomaceous earth, if I put it right in my hand, it's safe. It's fine, okay? You go start breathing it in, yeah, you're going to screw up your lungs. It's going to hurt your lungs. Use some common sense. Don't breathe it in. But here they include a bellows duster, but yet their instructions are to put it on the food. I don't think you're going to go around shooting the food because now you're just going to make it airborne.
Right.
You're actually going to increase the chances of you breathing it in. That's not good. But the bellows duster is a great way to apply the dust into those cracks and crevices. That's where you want it. All right. You don't want it so that, you use this inside a home. It has to legally be in a crack and crevice because you don't want, say, a child come along and touch it and start playing with it and breathe it in. But if it's in the cracks and crevices, you're hiding it from people that shouldn't be accessible to it. But more importantly, you're getting it exactly where the insect is either hiding currently, so you kill them, or you prevent them from going in there. Make sense?
Makes sense.
All right, good.
All right.
So the point is, we're going to dust some rope wrap roost bars. I've never done it. I can't wait to see what happens.
So that answers your question. We are going to try it.
Should
Okay.
we take our rope and treat them with diatomaceous earth and then? No, God, no.
No.
I wouldn't want to be that employee. Never mind.
No.
So someone asked, how do you clean the poop off the rope wrap roost bars?
Gosh, oh my God.
You would know because you had 24 chickens in your coop.
So, okay, the first disclaimer is if you feel you have to clean your roost bars or you do have to clean your roost bars, there's just piles of poop on it, there's something else wrong because there shouldn't be. You should never have to clean out. You should never have to clean your roost bars, whether they're rope wrapped or not. However, if you're going to, and we have customers that do it, and they know they're going to do it, so this is why they'll order a second set. Even with the ramp, they'll order a second ramp or ladder because they're going to take it out, they're going to wash it, and then leave it out in the sun to let it dry, which you definitely want to do. But in the meantime, they'll just rotate them.
Can you wash the rope wrap roost bars?
There's no reason why you can't. I never have because you don't need to. But just like I had 24 chickens in a coop that was only meant for 12, we're going to do it.
They were young. They were.
You're not helping my story there.
Oh, sorry.
Was there not an overload of nitrogen in that run?
Yeah.
Thank you. And in that deep litter,
Yeah,
it was nuts.
There was poop everywhere.
Oh my God! It was a
like
poop
monkey-
party.
Looked like monkeys were living there throwing poop around. In that
Yes,
hen house.
especially when they were young. Here's what I noticed: those roost bars, even in our coop, got pretty dirty because they were young. They're like little kids. What do little kids do? They take their poop and they write on the wall and like, hey, look here. As they got older,
I feel sorry for your mom.
I've never done that for the record that I
Okay.
know of, anyways. You don't believe me? The roost bars, in a way, kind of clean themselves. So I didn't do anything. However, we're gonna go power wash them, and we're gonna see what happens. And when I say see what happens, I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know I have seen rope that is made from a natural fiber. When it gets wet, it'll shrink like crazy.
Right.
Yep. I saw. Mm-hmm.
No, I was gonna say, and if it's not the rope, like I don't have the perch bars anymore, but you can also use a paint scraper to kind of scrape like lumps
Wire
of
brush,
poop.
maybe?
Yeah, wire brush. Well, the wire brush will kind of will.
See,
That'll very lightly.
here's the problem with that.
I just use paint.
I wouldn't do it at all.
I used to have to clean bird crap professionally from pigeons. And boy, do you got to be careful. It's like asbestos.
Yeah.
Asbestos is fine if you leave it alone. Once you start messing with it, you make it airborne. You could breathe it in. You could end up with histoplasmosis by scraping it, and you breathe in the spores from those droppings from the mold growing on it as a type of fungus, if I remember correctly, and then it starts growing in your lungs. Horrible. Me? Gosh, I don't know. I would just leave it alone.
Yeah.
And
I'm just talking the big chunks.
and they're nice and wet and goopy, kind of like the duck poop that was here earlier.
So here's another question. Someone said, you're all the best. When are those windows going up on the website?
I thought they were going to say, when are they going to be for sale? They're for sale now. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you go to Carolina Coops. Is it on our YouTube channel? Perfect. So we did a video. We did an introductory teaser video of our new pre-hung windows. Now, I did talk about it right before you left, right, on Video Chicken? Yeah. So I showed them to you guys. And I wanted to show you how easy they are to install, because they are literally pull it out of the box, put it in the rough opening of your chicken coop, shoot it in, hammer it in, whatever you want to do to hold the window in, and you're done. We are trying to do something we don't do a lot around here, and that is don't start selling something until we're ready. Well, we're always ready. We can take an order over the phone and sell it now. But a lot of people have been asking, when are they going to be on the website? When are we going to have instructions for them? When is it going to be click and buy, right?
Yes.
So that question is for Ingrid.
What? I don't have any information. See this? This is how much information I have on them.
She's showing me a blank piece of paper. So this means this is something, Ingrid, you and I have to work together. We're going to go right into the office and do it, and you're not allowed to leave until it's done. To answer your question, very, very, very soon. But you can buy them now, but to be on the website, we got a little bit of work to do so that it makes sense. You understand what you need to understand. And of course, we love this click and buy. Just click, buy, boom, comes right to your door.
Okay. So most of these were Roost Bar mites stuff. So we'll, and we had some questions here. I don't know.
Yes,
you have to go to the bathroom? You look like you have to go to the bathroom.
No, it's hot as hell in here.
Okay.
And and I didn't mean to get mad at you, but it's like I have my mic all the way over. You had room. So
no, it was just the way that the screen was split.
I mean, if we want to do some math, I am.
No, I mean for the interview. I
understand. But so you and I have to come into the middle 50-50, right? Well, I was about 55 and you were 45. I wanted you to. Does that make sense? I don't know. All right. For Matt, we have had a lot of spiders in our backyard. Oh, boy.
We love spiders.
I know. Oh, this reminds me. Someone else asked a question about termites I definitely wanted to address.
Yes.
For Matt, we have had a lot of spiders in our backyard. Some in the coop and hen house. Are spiders safe to have? Should I be cleaning the spider webs? We also have bugs like earwigs hiding in the crevices of the chicken run. All are these bugs safe? Okay. Wow. Great question. So I guess, all right, are spiders safe to have? Well, I guess you got to define have. Okay, if we're just talking about the chicken coop, I would not be worried about it at all. Now, I don't ever recall a chicken eating a spider, but I can't see why they wouldn't. What you have to understand, to the best of my knowledge, all spiders are venomous, okay? They have to have the ability to kill their prey. Whether they do a web or if they're like a wolf spider and they hunt down their prey, that's going to be different. But anything else about the spider should be harmless unless you get into those tarantulas that throw up their hairs and it becomes an irritant. So safe to have, yes. I wouldn't want to create an environment to have more than you want. Let's please understand, spiders are great. They're one of the best exterminators out there working for free. But you do need to be careful. You got, your black widows, which I love, even though they can be very harmful. They're so docile. You can almost hang on to them and they won't bother you. So, and
I also have brown recluse here too.
Oh, that's right. And that's a hemotoxin, right? That rots your muscle, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the brown. I wasn't even close to being done there. The brown recluse or the fiddleback. You can tell a brown recluse because it looks like there's a violin or a fiddle up on their septothorax.
I thought that was for the black widow.
No, the black widow has an hourglass, and it's not always there as clear as present, but most of them have that red hourglass underneath their abdomen.
And the brown recluse has
the fiddle or the violin, and that's a lot of times why people call them fiddleback spiders.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, should I be cleaning the spider webs? Yeah, spider webs are just evidence that you have spiders there. If you're wanting to reduce the spiders, reduce why they are there. And they're there because they, for whatever reason, you got something going on that tells them, hey, this is a good place to make my net, make my web, and catch a food source. The most common reason for that is your lighting. Okay, so check out your lighting. We haven't seen it in a while, but remember those old yellow bulbs? Yep. That will just reduce attracting flying insects. So that might be something to switch out to. And then earwigs.
Ugh.
So,
They're all over.
They really are. I wouldn't worry about the earwigs. They're considered an occasional invader. Again, if it's a chicken coop, I wouldn't really worry about it. If anything, I see them as free food for the chickens, and they're not going to do anything to destroy your coop like termites potentially could.
Yeah, that termite question was if you ever treat the wood before you paint it for termites.
Okay, so that is a great question. Here's the thing about termites, and we're going to talk about subterranean termites, not drywood termites. Completely different. Most of this country only has subterranean termites. You're only going to get drywoods down in Florida. Okay, so they're a different thing. The subterranean live in the soil, and the thing that I like about our chicken coops, and we get this question all the time, is they're open. Even if you go into the hen house, there's very little void, and that's only in the deep litter system. And I don't like voids. I don't even like doors. The wood that is touching the ground is ground contact rated pressure treated lumber. There are products like copper and other that can act as an insecticide in that wood already that the termites are not going to want to go in there. But here's what happens because they're subterranean, and they actually don't even have eyes. A lot of people don't know that. The workers don't. They're going to bypass your pressure treated lumber. And whether they do it on the outside of the coop or on the inside, doesn't matter. You can see it. So if you are worried about termites, what I can tell you with a coop like ours, and as long as you're going there every day doing your once over, you will spot those mud tubes before they can do any damage, or you should, even within a week. So to answer your question, I don't think it's worth doing anything to the coop to prevent termites. I think the prevention, which is the secret for all pests, has already been done because of the design of our coops coming from Carolina Coops. If you have a big shed and you can't see inside your walls, then I would be worried. But now you got a whole nother problem when it comes to prevention of treating of termites. It's going to be for another day.
So definitely know what those tubes look like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. If you got a crawl space, like I do now again, God, I can't stand. Why don't you? I wish you guys would build basements here in the South. Look for those mud tubes.
I think it's because I was curious about that, and I think I heard something about, what was it, the ground freezing and stuff like that. So that's why up north, everyone has basements, and then down here.
Well, it's because of the frost line. You have to dig so
line.
far down for the frost line up
might as
north.
well have
you
a
might
basement.
as well make
Right.
it into a basement. Here
Right.
we don't have to do that.
I know, but you get so much more home.
I know.
And I can tell you, our new home, did I tell you, our radon levels through the roof?
Well, you knew that beforehand.
No. There was a measurement, and they said the average is safe. I got a new meter. It's through the roof. And the question is, speaking of crawl spaces, I think one of the reasons why the radon level is so high is because it's becoming very popular if you build a home and you have a crawl space to seal it and not ventilate it. I'll be honest with you, sealing it makes sense to me. But that makes the radon, which is going to be everywhere. I know there's different levels, different parts of the country, but it's forced to come through the house instead of exhausting out through the crawl space. So
Yeah.
anyways.
You might have to mitigate that.
Great, thanks. No, the expert said it's not high enough, but now I'm questioning their device compared to mine.
Question. I know you sell the hemp for the chicken coop. What do you use for the chicken run?
Yes.
Run to keep it clean from all the poop.
I am so glad you answered this. Okay, well, one, if you're worried about a large amount of chicken droppings inside your run, that might mean you got too small of a run for the size of flock you have or too many chickens for your run. However, possibly this weekend, we'll have an official video coming out. Kristen and I did, 3 different parts to this one video showing our experiment with the healthy straw inside the run. And Ingrid and I were going to kind of brush it up and hopefully finish that today. But what I can tell you, I guess it's a spoiler alert, love it.
Yeah.
Love
There.
this healthy straw.
Yeah, it is great. And there are a lot of options for the run. We do endorse the hemp for the chicken coop, for the hen house.
For the hen house.
But you do have a lot of options for the run.
this healthy straw, and I was not a believer. You guys told me you both loved it. I said, all right, fine, let's try it.
I
It's a-
really like the healthy straw, but I also like wood chips for the run, leaves. There's
No,
lots
no,
of
no, no, no,
options.
no, no. We sell healthy straw now. So that's all we say we like.
Oh,
Yes, your
I didn't
leaves,
get
your
the
wood,
memo. I didn't get that.
hardwood. Yeah, come on, catch on here, Sarah.
Sheesh.
Hardwood wood chips. But this healthy straw, I tell you, for the price and how far it goes, we did what 3 to 4 inches with 2 bales in a 6x18 run, and it lasted.
it's probably still out there, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think what's great about the healthy straw, and I'm using it outside of my run when we get a lot of rain. When I know it's going to stop raining, I will throw the healthy straw because I have a relatively small area for them to free range versus other people. So that can get muddy because they've been there for 7 years, so I don't have grass growing. And the healthy straw is great to absorb that kind of mud slash chicken poop. But yeah, I love the healthy straw, and I think it worked great in your coop.
it worked unbelievable. I'm still in shock, and I'm not saying this because we want to sell it. We're selling it because of how good it is.
Yeah.
And that is on our website. And it is what, $45? Includes shipping?
Yes.
Anywhere in the country. It's just, that is an unbelievable price for what you guys get. Right. And the other thing, too, I wanted to bring this up earlier with Lisa Steele. And I don't know if we even really talked about what we planned on talking today, but I think it was a great conversation we had with her, especially about ducks, because ducks have become so popular. We have learned that this healthy straw is great if you have ducks.
Right. To use it in the duck house. Someone said that click and buy should be cluck and buy. Which is
Get rid of the. Here, can you get rid of this one before you?
wait, oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I was trying, and
Okay.
she just took it right out of my hand.
Okay.
And it is 1:30. If there's any other ones we can get to.
Our chickens love to eat earwigs. That's good.
Yes, I mean, bugs are good. You know, we talked about this in the video with the healthy straw. It's trapping. Well, there was already really, really wet. We got so much rain in the Carolinas. I don't know what is going on this year. I think it's been warmer in upstate New York than it has been here this spring and going into summer. But there was so much rain. It was really wet in that run coming through it with the runoff. And of course, 24 chickens meant for maybe 10. It was getting a little nasty. So there was no worst case scenario to test a healthy straw, and it just did beautifully. But when we started pulling it back, one of my concerns was it going to grow mold? And there was zero mold.
That wasn't an issue. No.
You know what I mean? And yet there were insects underneath that straw, and that's a good thing. The chickens absolutely love it. Don't forget, the worst thing you can do for your chickens is let them get bored.
Yep. And also we noticed that it was wet underneath where it was on contact with the ground, absorbing the water, but the top part
Bone dry.
was dry.
That's why I couldn't believe it. It was so
yeah.
dry on top. I couldn't believe when I pulled it back.
Someone said, should I treat my new shed/coop with a water sealant? Or can I? Can I/should I?
Wait, can you bring that in?
Okay.
Thank you. Should treat my new shed coop with a water sealant? Well, if your coop's made out of wood, it's highly recommended you do something so that when it does get wet, water doesn't go into the wood. You seal it, you paint it, stain it, whatever you got to do so that the water can't get in there. So I would say yes. However, I've seen a lot of barns that were never done and the wood's still, for the most part, good.
So this is an interesting question we should have brought up when Lisa was here. Lisa and I were talking about it before the show. Any worries for chickens with all the smoke from Canada?
So I asked you, you flew into JFK. How bad is it? Is it real what we're seeing on the news?
Yeah, I sent you a video.
Yeah, I have friends that have
There's
sent
the show, and then there's for entertainment.
Oh.
Yes,
Thank you. Work with me.
I have friends in New York, and yeah, it was bad.
Insane.
And my daughter flew into Newark, and she said it was like Dawn of the Dead. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Now,
was
did
just
you go
really
outside
weird.
at all or no?
No.
So Lisa, she's been getting a lot of questions about this, and she's saying to try to keep them locked up as much as possible if it's bad, just because the particulates are really bad for them to inhale because of their respiratory system. But she also said the thing to do is to make sure that you might up apple cider vinegar or electrolytes, anything to keep them healthy, keep their system healthy, that they can not be as susceptible to lung issues. Vetricide, the VetRx stuff, right? That's the stuff that you can put that kind of helps
Yeah.
clear out their lungs and things like that. So, obviously you can't keep them all in your house like Kristen might, but
So wait a minute. This is a good question.
it
That's
is
a very good question.
And boy, I mean, my thought is, I mean, the idea is to protect yourself from it. And that is get inside. You don't have that case really with your chicken coop.
Right.
But I mean, you could wrap it with plastic, but then I worry about how hot it can get. You know?
I mean, we're talking a couple of days for most people. Some of the places that are the worst are Manhattan. I think Harrisburg, Pennsylvania had
they got
the
hammered.
highest. They got
They got
one of the
hammered in my old
highest.
area. It just came right on top of them. It was nasty.
Yeah, Syracuse and
Wow, great
yeah.
question. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you really want to build up their immunity as best as you can too. So any kind of thing like rooster, any kind of stuff like that can help get them. If you could keep them, maybe if you have storm shields, maybe whatever, try to keep it. They'll probably would be aware of the air quality and not be as active anyway. But yeah.
Would the same principle apply like when you have a house fire, you're supposed to get down low because the air's better?
I don't know.
They're-
I mean, I live
the chickens
life.
are already
I live
down
life
close.
down low, being this height, and I don't know.
So you might
Well,
have
that's
better,
an interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
being down low, they might be okay.
Steph M says we have healthy straw in our run. Let us know what you think of it. Not sure if you bought it from us or not, but either way, let us know what you think of it. It'd be great if you could put that in the comment section. How often do you have to clean the healthy straw out of the run? Listen, when it comes to cleaning out your carbon source, to answer that question has all to do with how much of your nitrogen source there is. Okay, so it's hard to answer that. What I can tell you is, I'm not exaggerating. We had
7 years I've never cleaned my run.
Yeah, I don't know why you would clean it out. You just
I
add
know.
fresh.
Yes, guys, if you feel
I
you
would
got-
only dig out of that if I needed some compost.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've only dig out of it because I keep adding to it because it gets too high. But yeah, no, I've never cleaned it.
Yeah. So again, if you feel you have to clean it, you got to look at some other things.
And
But
it
how-
actually gets better and better with all the
I-
microbes
Yes.
and
Yes.
So
So
those
don't
microbes
clean it
are
out.
gonna
Keep
take
building
care
the
of-
layers.
take care of the droppings,
Good
breaking down
point.
those droppings.
Good point.
Do less.
Yes, we're a big advocates of the set it and forget it.
And I do have, before we end the show, I do have something for
Oh
you
yes, we
guys.
have stuff for Matt.
Huh, what?
We have stuff for Matt too.
Is this going to be embarrassing?
Yes.
All right. While we're waiting on Kristen.
Yes.
Oh, you can't even see it.
It looks like a dead plant on the air. This is a beautiful green elephant ears.
I love these. What? No, this thing is huge.
Yeah.
Is this the bulb?
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Thanks. I'm assuming these are from your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you
I know
have
that.
giant. And these are called elephant ears, right?
Yeah, I know that when you used to come to visit.
Oh my god, I was
you
always
were
jealous.
like, I can't believe you can grow these.
So I can just grow these at my house.
Yeah, they're growing without even being in the ground.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you plant them? Just throw
Yes.
them on the ground?
No,
Do
plant
you have
them.
to plant them south, east, west, north? Don't
They
matter.
like a little shade.
A little shade.
Wow, look at
Yep. Yeah, they need shade.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Throw them in there.
And then
Now, will these spread?
Yeah.
they will multiply.
Yeah.
Can
and,
you?
Ingrid has.
Yeah,
some
you can
for
just
too.
you can yeah.
Wait. What did I just hear?
Well,
Wait. Are
give
these
him-
for me as well?
Yes, this is for your new home and for here. So here are 2 hops. They look like they're dead plants. So
that
those are
looks like a
hops
really
that you can
bad
grow
gift.
over your chicken coop. I know they're a little.
They're
prickly.
very, very green. Okay. So grow these over our chicken coop here.
Well, you can either or I would build a trellis for them.
Yeah.
to grow
Well, you know
against
how
shades.
Ingrid and I are always swapping.
That
plants
one
and stuff
is-
like
Hold
I
on,
got-
hold on. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are these blueberries?
Nope.
Oh, am I even anywhere close?
No.
No.
Sunflowers.
No.
No.
Oh my God. So no.
Okay. Give me a clue. Give me a hint.
This
never
is
guess
this is for the carpenter and you. Not that one. The other one.
I'm trying to get. They're not showing up at all.
I know. I have 2 of these. That's a black walnut.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
So I figured you could, since you're a
Oh my
carpenter
gosh,
and black walnut,
Love black walnut. Absolutely. Thank
that
you.
you can put one in the shop and one at your house, and then hopefully you'll stay here for like 30 years and you can build something with it.
Wait, they're both black walnuts?
No, the other one's on the ground somewhere. There's two of them.
This one?
No,
Sweet.
that's something different. There's another black walnut.
Oh my gosh. So what is okay now?
Nobody can see these things.
I-
That's the other black walnut. So carpenter needs a black walnut, and that is anise hyssop, which is a native plant. It's a great pollinator. If you rub the leaves, you can smell it'll smell like licorice.
Oh, I don't like licorice.
I know, but it's kind of a.
Oh God! Yes, it does. Oh
My
I
God.
didn't know it was gonna be that bad.
Totally
I do-
overreacting.
No, I do not like licorice. People that like licorice have.
Well, I don't like to eat it, but the smell is just.
It is nice.
Oh my God! That is this where licorice comes from?
No. But this gets nice big plume of purple flowers, and it's a nice pollinator plant that you can have.
Plume of. Okay.
It gets nice flower spikes, purple flower spikes, and it's a great pollinator.
Well,
for
thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mike Trapp said invisible plants.
Yes, I'm sorry.
New invention here at Carolina Coops.
Yeah. So
yeah,
now,
it's a walnut tree.
You know, Ingrid and I are always bartering plants and stuff, and now you can be part of the club.
Yes, I figured now you have your house. As a congratulations,
Oh,
you can
thank
put
you.
some in some out here. You can put in your shop and some in your house.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to start my next adventure. You're going to be seeing a lot less of me. I hope the only day I have to come in here is for video chicken. Start our other big adventure.
Oh, look, it came with a bug.
What kind is
Oh
it?
yeah, that's.
What kind is it?
I don't know. We call them pill bugs.
Okay, so it is a pill bug if it curls all the way up, and then there's sow bugs. They can't curl up. Anyways, alrighty. It is, wow, we went way
they're
past
curled
we went way past our timeline. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week where the plan is we're going to treat these roost bars. We're going to answer any and all questions you guys have. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. Later.